And liberal director Michael Moore's not just a tool, he's a tool of Russian propaganda. It turns out Moore attended an anti-Trump protest that was organized by the Russian nationals who were just indicted for meddling in our election. According to the latest round of Mueller indictments, the Russians scheduled dueling demonstrations in New York City on November 12, 2016, the same day Moore tweeted out this picture. Joining me now is Michelle Malkin, nationally syndicated columnist, author, and host of Michelle Malkin Investigates on CRTV.com. So, Michelle, I imagine we're about to see all these articles about Russian collusion with anti-Trump leftists, right?
Yeah, right.
Don't hold your breath.
We'll be waiting a long time for that, David. I found it quite amusing for Michael Moore, who has been leading that resistance for these 18 months, to now be revealed as an unwitting tool and fool of the Russian-sponsored resistance. No, we're not going to get any of those articles, David.
What are your impressions of the indictment that we saw? It was about a 37-page indictment, had a lot of interesting charges. Of course, a lot of the information we already knew. The trolling organization that was set up in Moscow by Putin and his associates, we've known about that for months.
We have. And if you step back and have sort of a larger historical perspective on the meddling by any number of foreign governments in our elections, and, to be frank, vice versa, this is not anything that we should be shocked that is happening. That is not to belittle in any way the importance of our intelligence agencies combating any kind of information warfare, whether it be from Russian trolls or any other foreign government. But it certainly does not require the kind of hysteria and hyperbole that we're getting from the anti-Trump media, who are likening these 13 Russian trolls and their efforts, which really are a drop in the bucket if you look, again, perspective-wise, at all of the spending that was done in the last election cycle.
And
really
we should also remind that the indictment is replete with examples of where they both supported anti-Trump rallies and pro-Trump rallies. So, I mean, they were on both sides they were just trying to create chaos. I mean, that's the bottom line.
That's right. Division and discord, as if we didn't already have enough of that domestic anyway. But the hyperbole that somehow this kind of meddling and interference was on the order of 9/11 or Pearl Harbor, as many of these shameless journalists have been saying, it really just shows you how much they've lost their minds, their souls, and their hearts.
Well, what about the FBI? Because you saw the Trump tweet that the FBI was so distracted by some of this Russia stuff that they may have lost clues that would have led them to the shooter in Florida.
Well, I certainly think that there is an element in truth of that. But I think more broadly, we've had a number of problems with the FBI. And I believe that this goes back to those deep state bureaucrats that date back to the Clinton era, who are more interested in researching their political opponents than they are in acting on tips, both of public safety matters, like the ones in Florida this past week. But also, I mean, if you think of many of the major jihad events over the last several years, and certainly under the Obama administration, where the FBI was asleep at the wheel.
Yeah. By the way, those who are skeptical of the deep state, I'm old enough to remember when the Reagan administration came into power, there was a deep state that existed from the Carter administration, from previous administrations, that the Reagan folks really had to work hard to fight against, and they didn't win all of those battles. And one battle they didn't win was in the State Department. They just threw up their hands, gave up, and essentially went on with the State Department people that they were stuck with from the previous administration. It's a real thing that's happened not only this time, but in previous administrations as well. Quickly.
No question about it. They don't call it Foggy Bottom for no reason.
That's a good point. Michelle Malkin, great to see you, my friend. Thank you very much. I appreciate you coming in.